Hi, I'm Todd Blackstock on location at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis, home of a huge event today where the St. Louis Cardinals are hosting the Play campaign. There's members of the Boys and Girls Club here today. There's members of RBI, Revive Baseball at Inner Cities. We've got Paul DeJean, shortstop for the St. Louis Cardinals, Adam Olson, the head trainer. Basically, the platform of the event is to talk about steroid abuse, to deter kids from using them, talk about weight training, dieting, and of course, the batting cage, one of the favorite items of the day. And joining us now on the field at Busch Stadium is Carmen Mael here with the Play campaign. You know, what a great event it is for the kids in St. Louis, the kids with RBI, Revive Baseball at Inner Cities, and some other associations to come out here and experience Busch Stadium and all this great training.
Well, it's always, first of all, a pleasure to be at Busch Stadium, the home of the Cardinals. I mean, it's one of the classic teams, in Major League Baseball. So the history here is just amazing. You feel like you kind of walk back into the history of the MLB. But it's a pleasure to be here, and especially with the Play campaign, which is promoting a lifetime of activity to youth, an initiative of the Professional Baseball Athletic Trainer Society, or PBATS, and we just are so grateful for their participation. Amidst all the bluster of the games and things like that, there is a lot of substance that goes behind giving back to the community, if you will, with the athletic trainers. So it's just a privilege to really be a part of that.
You know, and talk about some of the different groups and organizations participating in this event and some of your partnerships.
Sure. I mean, obviously, again, the Athletic Trainer Society, PBATS, Professional Baseball Athletic Trainer Society, are the mainstay behind it. But we also have other participants. The Hooten Foundation, for example. Taylor Hooten was a young man at 16 that had, this goes back a number of years, so they weren't really aware of the impact of steroids. So he wanted to gain weight, and he was told this is what he should do, and eventually they realized it was an issue. He withdrew from it, as a result went into severe depression and committed suicide. So we have, obviously today the use of steroids, of people wanting to get stronger, faster, better, if you will. The temptation to use steroids, without health-related reasons is huge. And actually, as the people from the Hooten Foundation would tell you, the fastest growing segment of steroid use in the country is among teenage girls. So this isn't just to guys, it's among athletes of all ages, teenagers, and the ramifications of such are pretty horrendous. So we want to help be a part of that as well. Then, of course, just the lethargic lifestyle, obesity issues that we have among young people today. The Play campaign is kind of a composite in trying to address in a general way, just parlaying the influence of Major League Baseball on behalf of the betterment of young people throughout our country.
And joining me now is Adam Olson. Adam's the head athletic trainer for the St. Louis Cardinals, and you're here today supporting the Play campaign and Revive Baseball in Inner Cities. And it's got to be fun to give back to the community and see all these kids come in here and get a little shot of the inside of Busch Stadium.
Yeah, no, I always think it's neat to share this with others. You know, it's easy to take for granted because we basically live in this, in this clubhouse, in this stadium during the year. But sometimes, you can take that for granted, how special it is. And when you see the kids come in and they smile and they're in awe, and you remember, why you started doing this sort of thing and what was the first draw to it. And so it kind of revives some of that excitement as well inside.
And today you're in here also assisting Paul DeJean, the Cardinals shortstop, with hitting off the tee. There were some pretty good hitters, a couple girls that could really smoke it, and some little kids and some pretty good athletes. Some kids I think have some pretty good strokes. What did you see out here?
Yeah, no, there's definitely some potential. I think they did a good job of bringing some kids in that, already have some interest in baseball, which is fun to see them, because they really took to Paul's instruction in the cage, and you could see some of the outputs getting even better during the day. So it was exciting, and we had a good time with it.
An interesting thing about today is a lot of the kids, and many people don't know that, baseball players get to the ballpark really, really early. What's a typical time a Cardinal player will get to the game or get to the ballpark for maybe a 7 o'clock game, and what will they do?
Sure. A lot of what people, they see the game and they, maybe they show up an hour before. It's a lot more complicated than that. The thing with our schedule that's difficult is that we play basically every day. So if you want to keep your strength up and stay strong, you have to work out on top of that, not just the games. You have to actually get maintain your strength. And so to do that, you have to get a workout in the same day that you play, because we play every day. So that ends up being that a lot of the guys will come in around 1 o'clock for, say, a 7 o'clock game. They'll get a workout in the weight room. We'll do some preventative care with them. Pitchers will do shoulder programs, and position players will be getting basically some video work and some coaching, and that'll lead up to where they can have some recovery in between their workout and then the game time. So I would say for a 7 o'clock game, a lot of guys are here by 1 o'clock just so that they can get everything they need to get in for that game.
And dietary things as well are very important. When you're coming back and recovering, there's certain things that, protein shakes, and there's certain things that your body wants and is good for your body. And also there's some steroids and things that are terrible. Can you separate the two, and where do you draw the line?
Well, I think that's where, when you talk about competitive advantage with the different teams across the league, one of the things that our front office is really invested in is making sure that we're doing everything that we can as far as on the right way to do things. And that, like you said, it's with nutrition, supplements, rest, recovery, sleep. We monitor all of that on our players, and we try to give good advice to them wherever we can. And that's really, the name of the game in baseball is recovery. If you got to play every day, you got to be able to feel like you're fresh for that next game. And so a lot of that happens with, just the amount and quality of sleep that you get each night, and then obviously the fuel that you put inside your body. So yeah, we preach the right way to do things here, and obviously there's things out there that you can kind of can cheat your way through. But that's obviously not what we support here, and that's not what we would ever advise any of our players on. And I think, they found over the last couple of years that a lot of what we can do here through nutrition and rest and all that, they found that really does make a difference in their day.
So I want to take you guys back several years ago. Had a buddy of mine, his name was Taylor Hooten. He was a baseball player just like you guys. He was 16 years old. What's really scary is about half of the guys he was playing baseball with were already using steroids, a really high percentage. He decided, you know what, I'm going to do the same exact thing. All right, he went out, he bought several different types of steroids. He used them very heavily for about 6 months. At the end of 6 months, he was dealing with such bad side effects, physical, but especially psychological. Taylor ended up taking his own life because of these drugs, okay? So if you're looking at me, you're wondering why I'm here, why I care about this stuff. We lost somebody because of these drugs. I'm here to make sure that does not happen to anybody that I'm looking at. That makes sense? So here's what I want you guys to know. You guys can continue to grow up, play sports, do whatever you do without the use of this stuff, okay? I'm a walking example of that. So you guys see this shirt I have on? What does it say? Exactly, you know what that means? It means everything I've done in my life to get me to this point, I did it all by myself without the help of this stuff. You guys can do the exact same thing. And if you guys need a living example, I have a Major League Baseball player on every single team that is also helping me share this exact same message. You guys know who my Cardinals player is? Any guesses? You know Matt Carpenter? So he is my all-me representative. So he is a living example of somebody that made it to the top of his sport without the use of these drugs. You guys can do the same exact thing. That's what I want you guys to know walking out of here, okay? So you guys now know this stuff's dangerous, you know it's illegal, and you know it's cheating. You guys promise me you won't use steroids? All right, man. Well, thank you guys for coming.
When you come to the ballpark, what's your strategy and game plan on game day?
For a 7 o'clock game, I'll get here about 2 o'clock, and I go through my routine of just stretching out. Sometimes I'll lift, hit in the cage, come out here, do my work on the field, and then, eat, take a hot tub, get ready for the game, and, roll out here about 6:45 for a 7 o'clock game, stretch and play the game. But, I'm very routine oriented. I pretty much do the same thing every day, just kind of mundane and tedious, but that's how it goes.
There's a whole lot involved other than just the ball game.
Yeah, and to play 162 games a year, you got to really be in good shape. So that's why you got to lift a lot still. Most of the guys still lift. Just try to stay in shape. But yeah, we're here 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game, and then 3-hour game, and we're here for a while.
Hi, we're with Henry Giles. Henry, you're out here today learning some neat things, and I saw you hitting off the tee with Paul DeYoung, and you were ripping some balls there. You must be a pretty good baseball player. Where do you play at?
I play at U City baseball team, and then Easton Tigers is my summer team. And it was a lot of fun getting to play with Paul DeYoung, the shortstop for the Cardinals.
So what were some of the highlights today outside of getting to hit and get some instruction with Paul DeYoung?
Just seeing the stadium, the outside, like what you don't usually get to see, like the behind-the-scenes stuff, type of stuff, and getting to stretch with the trainers and see what they do before games.
So what about afterwards in the dugout when the trainers were talking about some things, and then you can find out about the different proteins that are good for you, but then the bad effects of steroids? Did that mean anything to you? How did you feel about that?
Yeah, it meant a lot to me. It's a good idea to not do that and to stay healthy and to be the best you can be without taking any supplements like that.
So what are your aspirations for the future?
To play college ball and see where I can take me from there after that.
And so this is a pretty good training ground here. You get to see some stuff, and you get to walk around Busch Stadium and get to dream a little, huh?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a great experience.
You're out here today with the Play Campaign Foundation, and you learned a lot of neat things out here. What did you learn? And tell us about the situation with return baseball in inner cities and why you're out here today.
Well, the shirt stands for Reviving Baseball in the Inner Cities, and it's just a program for kids in the inner cities to play baseball or softball for me, and just get us active, and just allow us to play the sport that we love.
What were some of the things that stood out to you, your different little stations you were in today? What was the highlight?
I think hitting with Paul was awesome. That was pretty cool. And then just seeing the facilities and just being in an area where the Cardinals players are. I mean, we go to the Cardinals games all the time, and just to be walking in their footsteps and things, it's really cool. And then I think one thing that really spoke to me was when we had to talk about the steroids and just seeing actually how serious it was. And I've never been talked to about steroids and things, so just to learn more about it and learn the severity of it and how real it is, but to make sure that we stay away from it and stay educated as well.
Winning is everything up here, but it's a good mix between young guys like me and some older experienced people that have won a World Series or have played in the playoffs or played in the big leagues for a while. So it's kind of a good mix between young and old, but right now I'm here with some of the guys that I came up through the system with in Memphis. So got some younger guys that are coming up now that are starting to take over. Well, I got called up in Colorado, and the moment I walked, Colorado's dugout's kind of like this with the stairs up into the dugout, and I walked out and just saw the height of the stadium, and I was in shock there. But first day game at Busch, it just felt like it was buzzing, it was loud, it was hot, it was sunny, it was just vivid, I didn't feel it off the bat. It was a long day of travel, tired. I just walked up there and tried to hit it forward, basically. And when you hit it well, you don't really feel it off the bat. So I didn't really know it was gone until I was about at second base. I kind of sprinted out of the box, but it was pretty fun. Don't take any moment on the field for granted. I never thought I would be here. I had a lot of things to overcome, and I never knew how far I could make it in this game. So really, just every time you're playing the game, just enjoy it for what it is and have fun with the teammates that you got, and remember those friendships, because those will last forever.
The Play Campaign, which is promoting a lifetime of activity to youth.
We lost somebody because of these drugs. I'm here to make sure that does not happen to anybody that I'm looking at. That makes sense?